Hello, everyone, and welcome to Get English Podcast. I'm your host, Candace, and I'm so excited to be with you today. In this episode, we're going to explore a really interesting topic: the differences between village life and city life. Whether you live in a busy city or a quiet village, or maybe you're curious about what life is like in different places, this episode is perfect for you. We'll learn useful vocabulary and expressions to talk about where we live, and I'll share some fun conversations to help you understand the differences between these two lifestyles. Throughout the episode, we'll cover everything from the peaceful environment of villages to the exciting opportunities in cities. You'll learn how to describe different living situations and understand the advantages of both village and city life. So, let's get started on this fascinating journey together. Now, let's start by learning some important words that we use when talking about villages and cities. These words will help you better understand and describe different places to live. Let's begin with villages. A village is a small community in a rural area. Rural means countryside, areas away from cities with lots of nature. When we talk about villages, we often use words like peaceful, quiet, and traditional. For example, you might say, "My grandmother lives in a small village surrounded by farmland." Or, "The village has only one main street with a few shops." Moving on to cities, we use words like urban, which means related to cities, and metropolitan, which describes a large, busy city. Cities are often described as crowded, bustling, or lively. Let me give you some examples. You might hear someone say, "I live in an urban area with many high-rise buildings." Or, "The metropolitan area has excellent public transportation." Other useful words include inhabitants or residents. These mean the people who live in a place. Amenities are useful facilities like shops, hospitals, and schools. For instance, cities have more amenities than villages. Or, "The village residents all know each other." Remember these words because we'll be using them throughout today's episode as we explore the differences between village and city life. Let's talk about life in a village. I recently visited my friends Sarah and Tom, who live in a small village, and they shared their experiences with me. Let me play you part of our conversation.
Living in this village has completely changed my life. The peace and quiet here is amazing compared to when I lived in the city. That's so true. And have you noticed how everyone knows everyone? Just yesterday, Mrs. Johnson from the bakery saved some fresh bread for us because she knew we were coming back late from visiting family. Oh yes, the community spirit here is wonderful. Remember when Farmer Pete's tractor broke down? The whole village came together to help him harvest his crops before the rain came. That would never happen in the city. And I love how we still celebrate traditional festivals. The Harvest Festival last autumn was so much fun. The children especially loved it. They can play safely outside here, and everyone keeps an eye out for them. It's like having a big extended family.
Listening to Sarah and Tom, we can hear several important aspects of village life. They mentioned the peaceful environment, peace and quiet. They talked about community spirit, where everyone helps each other and knows each other. They also highlighted traditional activities like the Harvest Festival. These traditions are an important part of village life that often gets lost in big
Another thing
cities.
I love is waking up to the sound of birds instead of traffic. And at night, you can actually see the stars. Yes, and we grow our own vegetables in the garden now. The lifestyle is so much more connected to nature.
As you can hear, village life offers a closer connection to nature and a slower, more traditional pace of life. People often feel more connected to their neighbors and the local community. Now, let's explore what it's like to live in a city. I recently caught up with Mike and Lisa, who both live in downtown areas of big cities. Here's what they had to say about
I
urban
absolutely
living.
love living in the city. Everything is so convenient. Just this morning, I needed to grab some groceries at 11 p.m., and there was a store open right around the corner. That's exactly why I chose city life too. And the job opportunities are amazing. When I wanted to switch careers last year, I had so many options to choose from. Oh yes, the career opportunities are fantastic. Plus, there's always something happening. Last weekend, I went to a jazz concert, tried a new Thai restaurant, and visited an art gallery, all within walking distance from my apartment. The public transportation is great too. I don't even need a car anymore. I just hop on the subway or bus, and I can get anywhere in the city. And don't forget about the diversity. I love how I can meet people from all over the world. My neighbors are from 5 different countries.
As you can hear, city life offers many advantages. Mike and Lisa mentioned convenience, being able to access stores and services at any time. They also talked about job opportunities and entertainment
The energy of the
options.
city is incredible too. There's always this buzz of activity, and you feel like you're part of something bigger. True, though sometimes it can be a bit overwhelming. The noise and crowds took some getting used to, but now I actually miss it when I'm away.
Cities offer a fast-paced lifestyle with endless possibilities for work and entertainment. While it might be louder and more crowded than village life, many people love the excitement and opportunities that come with urban living. Now that we've explored both village and city life separately, let's compare these different lifestyles. To help us understand the contrast better, I'll share a conversation between Sarah, who's always lived in the city, and her cousin Tom, who's showing her around his village for the first time.
I can't believe how quiet it is here. I keep waiting to hear car horns or sirens, but all I hear are birds chirping. That's what I love about village life, Sarah. It's peaceful. Look around. Instead of tall buildings, we have open fields and fresh air. The pace is so different too. Everyone we've passed has stopped to say hello. In the city, people barely make eye contact. That's normal here. We all know each other. Mrs. Johnson, who we just passed, she makes the best apple pies and always shares them with neighbors. That's really sweet. Though I have to admit, I'm already missing the convenience of food delivery apps and 24-hour stores. Well, we plan ahead here. The local market is only open until 6 p.m., but the food is all fresh and locally grown. Want to try some vegetables from my garden? Your own garden? That's amazing! The only plants I have are 2 small potted herbs on my apartment windowsill.
As we can hear from Sarah and Tom's conversation, both lifestyles have their unique characteristics. While cities offer convenience and endless options, villages provide peace, space, and strong community bonds. Neither lifestyle is better than the other. It's all about what suits your personal preferences and needs.
Tom, I was skeptical about visiting the village, but there's something really charming about this slower pace of life. And whenever you need a dose of city excitement, you can always visit the city. That's the beauty of it.
Now let's practice some useful phrases for describing where you live. These expressions will help you talk about your neighborhood, whether it's in a city or village. Let's start with location phrases. Listen carefully to my pronunciation. I live in the heart of the city, or I live on the outskirts of town.
I live in the heart of the city.
Perfect. Now here's another common expression. My neighborhood is, followed by an adjective. For example, my neighborhood is peaceful, or my neighborhood is bustling.
Peaceful.
When describing nearby places, you can use there are or there is. Like this, there are many shops nearby, or there is a park down the street.
There are many shops nearby.
Excellent. Now let's look at some useful prepositions. We say, on my street, in my neighborhood, or around the corner. Listen to this example.
The supermarket is around the corner from my house.
To describe distance, we commonly use it takes. For instance, it takes 10 minutes to walk to the station, or it's a 5-minute drive to the shopping center.
It takes 10 minutes to walk to the station.
Remember, when describing your area, you can use expressions like it's known for, it's famous for, or it's popular for.
My neighborhood is known for its beautiful gardens.
These phrases will help you describe any place you live, whether it's a quiet village or a busy city. Practice them in your daily conversations. Well, everyone, we've reached the end of today's episode about village and city life. I hope you've learned some useful vocabulary and expressions to describe different living environments. Don't forget to practice the phrases we learned today. Try describing your own neighborhood using expressions like, I live in the heart of, or my area is known for. The more you practice, the more natural these phrases will become. Thank you so much for joining me today on Get English Podcast. Keep practicing your English, and I'll see you next time for another fun lesson.